everybody, my name is Angelica from the MathMagician Bookkeeping, and today I wanted to talk with you about the cost required to start up your own bookkeeping business. So one of the first items that you're actually going to need is a computer of some kind, whether this be a laptop or a desktop. And the reason for this is to be able to manage your clients' books. You may be able to have to do it off of Excel, but it's very rare nowadays to actually have someone's books and do it just written out on a regular piece of paper. So some kind of laptop or computer. For myself, I spent about $350 on my laptop from Best Buy, so you can find some affordable ones there. Depending on what exactly you want to do, you can go up in price, what have you, but that is definitely one thing that I would suggest getting first. The next would be some kind of accounting software. So once you already have your computer, then you're going to want some accounting software. So this could be QuickBooks, Xero, Sage, whatever accounting software of your choice. And I know for most of those that as an accountant or, accounting professional, you can actually get an accounting software free. Most of the time you don't even need it on your computer. It really honestly depends on what type of software you're going for. I know Sage though does require you as an accounting professional to pay a decent chunk for a full year to be an accounting professional with them. So just keep that in mind, but that should be a free service handed to you pretty much. Next on your list is going to be a phone. So I use my personal phone right now, but I do have plans later to get a work phone number. That way I don't have work and personal life being intertwined, and then I know every call that's coming to a business phone is actually coming to my business phone. So that costs me about $70 a month. I do, like I said, this is my personal stuff. So I do have hotspot and all the goodies, but that is my phone bill pretty much every month because I live out in the boonies and I don't really have good internet. So I have to rely on my phone majority of the time or some other type of internet hotspot. That brings me to my next thing, internet. So I use, being that I'm out in the boonies and we are in a school bus tiny home, it is a Skyroam hotspot, and it's more expensive than most internet providers just because there is it's a little more complicated than just regularly putting in a modem. So it really honestly depends how much you spend on your internet. You could probably find something between $40 to $100 a month that you're spending for internet, but definitely having internet because you're not really able to link up to your client's books without it. So then next, you can choose to do this if you want. I work strictly from home, and eventually I would like to have a little tough shed office or something built onto our property that we just moved to. And one of the things that I would really like is to have a printer. This can help out in so many ways, like whenever you're printing off someone's statements and you need to kind of go through and check them off. I know you can kind of do that on the computer, but sometimes it's easier to just have a pen right in front of you and be able to kind of go through it all. Also just printing off any other documents, being able to print off letters to send out to potential referral partners, so on and so forth. And getting a printer can cost you between $200 or more. For myself, I'd probably get a smaller compact one, just because we live in our school bus tiny home, and if we did travel, I would want something to take traveling with me. Another thing, this isn't a absolute plus or absolute necessity, but it is a plus, and obviously if I did have another office, I would have a desk and a chair. This honestly depends on how much you want to spend on doing something like that. That price can vary from the type of comfort of chair that you want to the also type of desk you want. If you want a standing desk, it's going to be more expensive, so on and so forth. But having some type of desk and chair, I literally usually work from the couch most of the time, or y'all will see me usually with another backdrop where there's a bunch of pallet boards behind me. I have kind of a pull-up table that can kind of go back down into our countertop. It's like an extended countertop, I guess. And sometimes I'll sit at the stool and work there. Right now I'm actually sitting in the driver's seat of our school bus because I don't have that stool anymore. We left it at my parents' whenever we moved to our property last week. So anyway, I just kind of work from wherever. In our school bus. Like I said, eventually I would like to have some kind of little office. That way I can get away from some of the animals and some of the distractions and be able to kind of focus on my own stuff and have my own office. But that is completely entirely up to you. So another thing that you're more than likely going to have to spend money on to get started is some type of advertising. So generally for me, for myself personally, I don't spend a lot on advertising. Used to back in the day, but just starting off, you're probably going to need to spend at least $20 to $50 on getting business cards printed out. I would highly suggest having some type of business card with your information. But yeah, I mean, so some type of advertising. So for instance, this last month, well, with Bryce's program, I don't have to be spending a bunch on advertising because pretty much everything that I'm doing through his program is getting me more clients. But this last month, I was actually approached by someone who was putting an ad in a golf course like manual or something, and asked if I wanted to participate in that and have my business in there. A lot of business professionals go through this golf course, so I said yes, and that was about $300, and that lasts me a full year. So that really honestly depends on if you're willing to do that, but you shouldn't really have to. This was just something that I decided, like, yeah, I'll go ahead and do it. I have a little bit of money that I could put towards that, but starting out, you're probably not going to have a lot of money to go off and do all those things. So following Bryce's coaching steps on how to get clients is going to be your number one go-to on saving money whenever you start up. But I would suggest having business cards. So going to a website like Vistaprint, I use a website called PS Print, and I believe I got like 150 business cards for like $25, and I was able to design them all exactly how I wanted to. Obviously, if you want to hire someone to do it, I actually hired someone to make my logo whenever I first started my company. So these are all variables that may or may not happen whenever you start your business, but things that can kind of help increase the actual like engagement and visibility to your actual company. So then on top of that, you have just your regular office software needs. So this will depend from business to business. For myself personally, I spend probably about $300, maybe a little less, on office software subscriptions every month, and it really honestly depends on what I need. So I wrote down each one individually. So I have Loom, which is $10 a month. Loom is, if y'all are watching my videos and you can actually see like a screen recording of my computer and you'll actually see like a little bubble of me, that's Loom. It basically, I can record my computer screen and also be able to record myself with my webcam and be able to upload that footage for you guys. Also, if I have clients that I'm answering a question for them, or I have a question for them, sometimes it's easier for me to just get on there and demonstrate what I'm doing and send it off. You don't have to pay for it, but I decided to pay for the premium because it comes with some more like editing effects and stuff. And so since I was starting to do all these videos for Bryce, I figured why not go ahead and pay for the premium, and it's actually going towards something that I really want to do with my business and get more exposure with. Then I also have Zoom. This is for having meetings with clients and so on and so forth. You don't have to have the premium as well, but I noticed for myself when I didn't have the premium, it only let me do like a 40-minute meeting, and sometimes meetings would go over 40 minutes, and it just looked a little less professional to be able to have that. But starting out with your business, that is not a requirement, but it cost me about $15 a month to handle that subscription. Then I have Calendly. This helps pretty much book any appointments that I have. This has been a lifesaver to be able to link it to like my Google Calendar or my Outlook calendar for my subcontracting job, and to be able to see exactly what's going to happen that day. I can also put links in there for people whenever they first sign up to actually go ahead and fill out a form. So Calendly is a must-have for me. You don't have to have the premium version, as like I said, but I do pay $12 a month for the premium version just because there's a lot more features that come with it that I have been able to use a lot more within my business. Then there's Splashtop. So this is a remote desktop viewer. So like if I'm on my laptop and I'm trying to remote access someone else's desktop in a different area, like I had a client in Knoxville that I needed to access their stuff remotely, that cost me $60, I think, a year to maintain that. And so that's pretty simple and easy. So I don't know, what is that, $5 a month to be able to uphold that membership? And that's not a necessity either. The only reason I needed that is because the client I had in Knoxville just so happen to use QuickBooks Desktop, and I don't have QuickBooks Desktop, so I had to remote into their computer to use QuickBooks Desktop. So that's one of the reasons that I use that for. Then another one that I use is DocuSign. This is for whenever I'm having people sign bookkeeping agreements, user login info agreements, any type of agreement or anything that I need them to sign. So I go ahead and I do the premium membership, which I might honestly cut back on a little bit just because I'm starting to slow down a little bit in getting some of my clients right at the moment. So I might cut back to at least like the smaller membership, but that's about $40 a month to have DocuSign. And then one that I just did is with a company called Keeper, and I'm actually going to do a video on this for you guys. But Keeper is basically a client portal for your bookkeeping clients, and it is specifically made for bookkeepers. So it has all these really cool features and ways for you to kind of manage your bookkeeping tasks for your clients. And also it has features that if you have an uncategorized expense or transaction that you need an answer to, you can flag that and send it off to your client through this client portal, and it's super awesome. So like I said, I'm going to do a video more in depth on that just because I think it's such an awesome software and can help a lot. But it's about $10 per client. So however many clients you have, it's going to be about 10 to 12 per client, and that really honestly depends on if you wanted to add in like your own personal branding into the company or if you just wanted to keep it regular. So those are pretty much like what my office software needs are. And those are usually about the expenses that I have. So bookkeeping, what's so great about it is it's such a like low cost, low overhead business. And the profit that you make is so much more than like the expenses you spend. Obviously, I have other expenses that I've chosen to do. Like I got health insurance through my business, and a few other like dental and eye insurances, stuff that I needed that I couldn't get through my husband's business or through my husband's regular job just because it was so pricey. But being able to afford it for myself, especially I had to have my appendix removed a few months back and I didn't have insurance. That really bit me in the butt. So another thing I didn't touch on, errors and omissions insurance, or E&O insurance. This is going to kind of protect you if you make an error or have some kind of omission made in your client's books. If they decide to sue you for some type of error that you've made, it at least gives you a little bit of coverage. It covers like attorney fees, court fees. It helps a lot, and so having that is really helpful, and that could cost you about $15 a month. So anyway, like I said, for the computer, depending on what you get, phone, internet, errors and omissions insurance, these are all the things that I personally have that costs me about $420, almost $500 to start up my bookkeeping business, and that is very low compared to a lot of businesses. I tried doing a makeup artistry business, and I tell you, I still have inventory and stuff sitting back there in my makeup kit because I had to purchase the makeup kit, the makeup, so on and so forth, and I was really not making any profit off of that, but that's a whole nother story. Anyways, I hope that this kind of gives you an idea of what your costs are going to be to start up your business. Like I said, it's going to depend from person to person what you want. If you already have a computer, that's great. You know, you can go ahead and just do whatever you need to with that, but yeah, I hope that this gave you a little bit of insight, and if you want to see more videos like this, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk with you later. Bye.